Joining us now is a man who makes a lot of smart moves.
Yeah.
And we got to see him work during the draft, didn't we? This guy made a strategic trade. He said, hey, the enemy of our enemy is our friend.
That's right. Exactly.
You hate the Jets. We know it. We need to make a move to lock in. We're going to go up too. You do your thing. Makes a steal of the draft is what people are saying to load up on the offensive line. That makes a big-time trade from the Philadelphia Eagles. Jason Kelsey, center for the Eagles, says, hey, Isaac. Ciamalo. Oos.
Yep.
Smartest player I've ever played next to. So it's very clear that this man said, you know what we need? We need the trenches a little bit. They got a new quarterback. They got a great fucking wide receiver core. And they're in a city that loves football. This man loves football more than you do. He's called the con artist, Omar Khan. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. How you guys? First of all, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you, man. I don't know. Do you
I
have...
got 2 daughters myself. It's the best thing ever.
Okay. It is the best thing ever, I will say. It is, like, whenever I'm holding her, looking at her, thinking about, like, her entire life that's happening, you know, middle of the night, you're like, this is so cool. This is, like, real purpose here, you know? At what stage am I going to get past thinking she's going to die every single breath that she does? It is high anxiety at all times.
It doesn't. Mine are 7 and 5, both girls. That doesn't end, Pat. It doesn't end. Every night I get up. I got to get up in the middle of the night. I go up, check up on them. It doesn't end. Doesn't end.
I'm not this type of person. I'm not a guy that has any worries.
I wasn't either.
I'm not a worries guy. You're a GM, though, now. You got a lot of worries. Let's dive into what you've done here. We were told by Missy Matthews, who works for the Pittsburgh Steelers from our high school, friend of the program. She gave us a little research that whenever you were a kid, you used to read newspapers or something and then draw up a draft board for, like, fun. Like, literally, that's what you did for fun as a kid alongside. So you've been wanting to be a general manager in the NFL since you were like a child? Is that an accurate depiction?
Yeah, since I was young. Look, I mean, I think once I figured out that my path to the NFL wasn't going to be as a player or be an Archie Manning or one of those Saints guys that I loved, I figured that my path to the NFL was going to be trying to be Jim Finks, who at the time was the GM of the Saints. And I loved watching him in action. He was helping turn things around for the Saints back then in the 80s. And ever since then, you know, my people used to ask me, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to be a general manager in the NFL. And fortunately, I've been very blessed and consider myself very lucky and fortunate to be here.
Hell yeah, dude. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, did you ever think about getting into coaching back then? Like you said, you thought, hey, I'm not going to be able to play, but coaching also is another option.
You know, never really. I guess a little bit I did. When I was my last year with the Saints, I was working on the coaching side with Jim Haslett and primarily Mike McCarthy, and I loved working with Mike. He was awesome to work with, and you know, part of me just when I had the opportunity to come to Pittsburgh, a part of me, you know, I thought about it. You know, I stay back and you know stick with Mike and those guys and just see where that takes me. But then you know, to work for the Steelers, as you guys know, to work for the Steelers and the Rooney family, you just if that opportunity comes your way, you just don't pass that up.
How long were you with the Steelers, and did you know you were being groomed to be the next general manager while you were there the whole time, or no?
I didn't know, but I can tell you, my first day was in Pittsburgh. My first day was Valentine's Day 2001. So that's the first day that I started here with the Steelers, and every day that I've been here, this place has had all of me, and you know, they've given me all of them, and you know, awesome to be working for the people that I have here.
A nice give and take with the Steelers organization, it sounds like. That's 22 years.
Dang, man.
Yep.
Hey, I think I won the punt, pass, and kick during Steelers game, 2002, maybe 2003.
Ooh.
I don't know if you
I
saw.
would have been there.
I don't know if you did any scouting. I fucking hawked it, and then on the way out, I dunked on the uprights too, just to see if I could get up there. I think I was like 14 or whatever. That's a long time though. Steelers have always operated in the same exact fashion. You seem to be operating a little bit differently. Did you have to get the Rooney's blessings to be a little bit more aggressive whenever it comes to being a general manager for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Did they know this is what it was going to be? Do you think this is just classic evolution? What are your thoughts on that? Because you are vastly different than how Colbert ran it, and do you see it that way?
Yeah, I don't really see it that way. I mean, I was trained by Kevin. I mean, pretty much everything we do, we tweak some things. It's similar to the way we did it before. But like when we make big decisions, any big decision here, you know, Coach Tomlin, Art Rooney, and myself, we'll get together and make a Steeler decision. And if it makes sense for us to do something or not do something, that's what we'll do.
Tomlin has some real say, right?
Yeah, Tomlin's great. Yeah, we work very, very close together.
Is that like that? Is that that was like a part of the interview? Because you had to interview, didn't you? I'm like trying to think back now. You're there for 22 years.
Yeah.
I would just assume that it would have been handed to it. Then they had to do actual interviews, I do believe. And I think Steelers fans wanted you, right? I think that was a thing, but there was a chance you weren't. Oh, no?
I'm not sure if they did or they did. I don't know. I stay out of that during the process. It was a pretty thorough process.
But you're like told there, like, hey, obviously you've been here. You know how this works. Tomlin will have some say. Rooney, like we would like to have some say in it. You kind of know. That's all just kind of laid out there on the table during the interview process. And is it expected?
Well, I guess I had the advantage of knowing what the structure was here, right? I've been here for so long. I knew the structure wasn't going to change. And, like I said, every time there's a big decision, it's always going to be a Steeler decision, and the right people will get in the room and discuss it. And, we'll make a Steeler decision.
Go ahead, AJ.
Do you guys, as a front office and GMs and teams around the league, do you guys do like a self-scout about the whole drafting process to where you look back at previous drafts and you try to, I don't know, maybe see like trends that you may have that you want to throw teams off, maybe not let anyone get a read on you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you said that because we were actually talking about it with our group today about self-scouting ourselves, about how we were during this first year and how we can improve. And if we were, if I was someone on the outside and I was looking at how we did things this past year, what would we say that we were doing? We actually did that today. It's funny you asked that.
Oh, what'd you say? What did we say? Let's tell everybody.
Here we go.
This is a good time.
It's the first step. We haven't gone through it. We just said, well, this is what we're going to do. We haven't exactly come up with the final tally yet.
How long will that take? Will that be like a week-long process? Will that be like a couple months? Like, how do you?
No, it'll be a couple weeks. There's no rush on it right now. So, a couple weeks.
Something just
right.
Something in the Thunderdome just blew
you guys
up.
all right over there?
Well, listen, you probably just made another big-time move and it just landed here in the Thunderdome. Something just blew up over here to the left. Made quite a sound. Probably somebody should check on that. Great to hear that we're still live, it sounds like. Tone Diggs loves you as a human.
Yep.
He has a question for you.
Yeah, Omar,
Right,
as a longtime Steelers fan, obviously we all know you came from the finance side, and then you're coming into the GM side. And I believe Colbert was on the scouting side, so it was a little bit different there. And then you guys bring in Andy Weidel, who's on the scouting side from the Eagles. And obviously you said you work with Tomlin. So what's the biggest difference coming from the finance side to the GM seat? Are you dealing with like player like scouting situations, or is that more like Andy and Coach Tomlin? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm involved in it in all aspects of it. I mean, I started off when I was in New Orleans. I started off on the scouting side, worked a little bit with the coaching side, and then when I came here, my role was a little different. And one thing about Kev he was awesome is he always involved me in everything that he did. So from that standpoint, I've been very fortunate to have great teachers. I've had great teachers. I've been around some great Steelers here. From Kevin to Bill Nunn, a Hall of Fame owner, and Dan Rooney, a future Hall of Fame owner, and Art Rooney, Hall of Fame coach, and Bill Cowher, future Hall of Fame coach, and Mike Tomlin. I mentioned Bill Nunn was around, Joe Green. When I was young in this business, the best thing was I sat in the back of the draft room and just took it all in. I sat next to Joe Green, Bill Nunn, and Ron Hughes. Those were three of the greatest football people I've ever been around. And that was just, I don't take that for granted.
So are you like a film nut? Like, what do you, because Tomlin allegedly just lives in that little dungeon, the film dungeon or whatever it is, the cave that he has. Yeah. And I don't know, what is your process through it all? You need to see him live? Do you travel to a lot of these things before the draft, or what is it?
I have to see him. That's how you get to know him. It's the best way to get to know the guys. You got to travel. You got to be at the pro days. You got to be at the All-Star
games. You got to get dinners. You guys do all the fucking dinners.
We do the whole thing. We got to get to know these guys as well as possible.
What do you ask? What are the questions? Like, do you watch them eat? Do you watch them order? Like, how do you have to judge everything? Do you have to?
So Mike Tomlin is the best at this. He just when you have dinner with Mike Tomlin, you guys know Coach Tomlin. Like, he's so easy to get to know, and he's he makes it easy to talk to. And when we meet with these guys, we just have a casual dinner and get to know them and really learn a lot about them. We don't have a lot of time, but we take advantage of that time.
This guy used a fork for his oatmeal.
Can't do it.
Saw that?
Don't know.
Does anyone ever order booze? Anyone ever sit there and like, give me a double vodka on the rocks?
Not yet.
Is that guy getting drafted if he does?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you hope that somebody has a little more common sense than to do that. I'm not saying we're going to take him off the draft board, but you like to think that they think twice about doing that.
Yeah,
But-
I need a double jack and diet.
Yeah.
No, I'm on a diet. Hey, draft season.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Connor has a question for you about a guy you drafted.
Yeah, Omar, there was this old clip of Mike Tomlin talking to Chase Young on the sideline saying, I'm never going to suck as much to get a guy like you. And turns out you kind of did get a guy like him in Darnell Washington, who's 6'7", 280 pounds, and he's moving sleds around like they're nothing. Did it get to a point where in the third round you had to say to yourself, okay, this guy probably should have been drafted 30 picks ago. We have to take him?
Well, we obviously had him graded really high, and it got to the point. He's in the third round, and he's one of the highest guys on our board left, and it's just hard to pass up on a talent like that. I mean,
Why did he drop? They said his knees or something like that, but then he came out and said it's
we
bullshit.
we wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have done it if we didn't feel comfortable with everything. So for us, he was good.
I was so mad. I was so mad. I was watching and I was so. Hey, do you have to get out of here? I assume you got to actually go do.
No. Somebody just came. My door shut. Somebody came in. Even though my door shut, so I told him I was not.
General manager still.
Was it TJ? Might have been TJ.
Yeah, it was TJ Watt. He wants
You
to
want to
sign
see? No, well, it was.
Oh, look at this crew.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh, well. We were just talking about you and how you get answers out of people at dinner whenever the drafts, because you guys are at every fucking dinner, Coach. Every single dinner you're there.
You got to be everywhere.
How are you? How's the off season?
Man, I'm undefeated, so things are good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. How are OTAs? OTAs good?
Well, we hadn't got started yet. We're kind of still in team development, man, conditioning and skill development, man. We'll get busy next week with snapping it a little bit.
Hey, the con artist is a dog, Coach.
Man, he has honed his skills to a fine edge, man. I'm gonna get the hell out of y'all way, man. Let's do it.
Hey, he gave me that nickname. I told him the gloves are off now. Now it's my turn. It's my turn to find a nickname for him.
I'll tell you what, not the most flattering, whenever it's first said.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, this guy's scheming and lying and scamming. But then you start piecing it together, it's like, this dude
Well,
does
you know what's
seem to be-
crazy? It wasn't Coach that gave me the nickname. It was Coach's mom. She's the one that gave me the nickname.
This guy's a weapon out here. He's like an artist the way he's working this entire thing. He's fantastic. Pac-Man has a question for you.
I was reading, was that trade with the Patriots, was that really just to say fuck the Jets, or was it nothing up to that?
No, you know what? It was one of those things where we were working the phones, and we studied how the draft was coming off, and I can't remember who called who first, but we had a conversation and said, hey, if we're in that situation, would you guys be interested? And it made sense for both of us.
Is that before the draft starts? You have that conversation, prepping,
No,
hey,
it was during the draft. It was during the draft.
how active are the phones during the draft for you? It seems like you're a little bit more of an aggressive GM than maybe some places, but
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I can say I take every call and I listen. So.
are all those deals done with all the drafted guys? Because aren't they slotted now? Isn't it just kind of hey, this is what you get, or is there any real?
We're getting there. I think we've got Cole Mark who handles it for us, but I think we got 3 through 7 done so far.
Oh, you stay out. You stay out until you got to come in. That's smart.
Yeah. I got a good person handling it, so we're in good shape there.
Yeah, and then if anything has to get settled, your baby face come in. Hey, let's go ahead.
Can we
get this deal done? You're like a hero all of a sudden. That's a great play.
Good. That's a good way to do it, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah,
right?
that's why you get the GM job. All those other jobs, they're the bad cop. They got to do all that.
Well,
You get to the
I'm
top.
sure that's how the ESPN deal came together, right? You came in at the end and looked like a hero. Right?
No, hey, con artist, I'm a good cop and bad cop through that entire thing.
Right.
How's your negotiation? You feel like you're stern or upbeat? What's your style of negotiation?
My style, I'd say, I understand it's got to be a win-win for both sides, and try to be fair. So
Transparent.
I think I understand both sides have a job to do, so just try to be fair.
You a transparent guy whenever you're talking to him? Hey, I need this to happen. You need this to happen.
Absolutely. It absolutely keeps the negotiation short. I got too much going on to have long, drawn out negotiations.
What do you have today?
Today we're finishing up an extension with Mitch Trubisky.
Okay.
So we feel good about our quarterback room. So that was an important piece. We got obviously Kenny Pickett's our starter, and we feel really good about Mitch Trubisky in the role he's in, and he feels good about it. And we've added Mason Rudolph, so we're really excited about that QB room. But there it is. So we're working on that. That'll be done here shortly.
All right, well, babyface that thing. Get in there and get that job done. Last question here for you. Kenny Pickett's going to be a guy. That's cool, huh?
Yep, feel good about it. This guy wants to be great, man. His work ethic is second to none.
Let's give him some hot rods. I was gonna when Tomlin was in there, I was like, hey, let's give the guy an opportunity. Can't wait to watch. AFC North is a prop. Do you have to think about that when you're building the team? How good the division is and how the teams are shaped?
Oh, absolutely. After the season, Coach Tomlin, Art Rooney, and myself, we got together and we said, look, this is the vision of what we want 2023 to look like. And that was before we got into free agency and started signing people before the draft. And I think if you look at our signings and our drafts, I think it's reflective of what we want 2023 to look like.
Isaac
Siamalo.
Jason Kelsey says smartest player he's ever played with.
He's going to be fun to have around for sure. He already is.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, general manager for the Steelers, Omar Collin.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So Trubisky deal's done.
Yeah. Let's go.
Breaking news.
Rudolph.
Congratulations, man. Mason Rudolph's coming back.
Let's go.